Okay, so this is the basic yin sequence. We start with a butterfly pose. So we join the soles of the feet together, and you have two options. One is to push the feet out away from you. This will affect the spine more. The other is to pull the heels in close, and this will get into the groin more, and you may be able to split the difference. Feel free to use props under your forehead or forearms and under your knees if you are doing the version where you're focused on the spine. However, if you are trying to stretch your groin, then you may not want to support the knees because that will interfere with the stretch. You can also sit on something, especially if you feel like you're being pulled backward. So sitting on something will tilt the pelvis and make it easier for you to fold forward. We want to relax into it, so we don't want to have to pull or push ourselves, which is why sitting on something can be very helpful. We'll be here for 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make a few changes here. I recommend facing the long side of your mat as I'm doing. And as you can see, my heels are on the mat. It just so happens my butt is also on the mat, but for some people they can't do both. So I recommend heels on the mat. You can sit on something if you're off of your mat and maybe you have a hardwood floor or something, a folded blanket, a bolster, a block, those work. And so the legs are straight and wide. The stretch is in here, the groin, and also along the back. We're going to come forward. Again, we can use support under the forehead or forearms. But be mindful you don't want too much support. If you have too much support, you will lose the benefit of the stretch, which is really very, very important. Your feet can flex or point in any direction. There are three things that you are gauging your choices off of. One is, do I feel safe? So if I flex my feet or point my feet, does it affect how safe I feel? Do I feel the stretch here? Is it enough? Is it too much? Again, flexing, pointing, making changes will affect that. And then finally, am I comfortable enough to hold this for 5 minutes? Very important with yin yoga to hold the full amount of time. That allows our connective tissue to transition between the gel state and the soul state, which is a lot of what is happening in a yin yoga practice. Okay, we'll be here for 5 minutes. Okay, let's rebound. So gradually coming up and then back onto your back. Before you counter stretch, see if you can take the next 30 seconds to a minute to just feel into the after effects of what we just did. Okay, let's counter stretch with the leg cradle, bringing your legs in and just adding some movement. Movement is yang in nature, which is the opposite of stillness, which is yin in nature. And so what the Taoists teach is that yin and yang balance one another. So if we are feeling imbalanced from doing something very yin, involving a lot of stillness, silence, then moving will help to create that balance that we're looking for. Okay, our next pose is done here on the back. So what I recommend is just shift your hips to the right side of your mat. And then keep this hip on the ground. A lot of people try rolling over. In fact, last night when I was teaching at the studio, somebody did that. They just rolled onto their side. That isn't what we're trying to do here, because that doesn't really give us any benefit physically. So we're going to move our legs over without lifting our hips. You might already begin to feel some stretching on your side, but then we want to, I don't know if you can see, I'm wiggling my upper body over without moving my hips, mind you. And now I feel a stretch here. And this is the area that we're targeting. Could be down here as well. The ribs, the waist, the hip. All of those regions are perfectly fine for this. This is called banana pose or banana asana. Okay, let's switch sides. As you come through neutral or center, you might take a moment and just see if you can feel the effects of those last 5 minutes on the right side and compare that to your left side. See if you can feel the difference between the two. Let's rebound. All right, let's pull the legs in, do a little counter stretch. And then to come up to seated, we slide the hands under the hips, extend the legs straight up, lift the head and neck, lower the legs, and pop up to seated. Here we transition into a tabletop position. And in yin, this is called the bear pose. In bear, we can do things like roll our head and neck, shrug the shoulders, move the spine forward and back, and drop the hips from side to side. We can combine these, we can repeat them. And again, the idea is balance, relief, neutralizing the areas that feel unbalanced. When you're done with that, you can tuck your toes and do the same thing for your lower body. So you can roll the toes, circle the ankles, pedal the feet, and even kick your legs. Again, nothing works for everybody. Everyone's a little different, and that can even be true from day to day. You might feel differently than you did yesterday. So the key is experimentation and listening to the feedback that your body is giving you. Okay. For our next set, we'll begin on the belly. This is Sphinx, propping yourself up on the elbows. Now, if you do not feel any compression in your back, you can go into a deeper variation, which is called seal. These are essentially and functionally the same. Seal's a little more work, because your arms are straight, but it's not that much more work. The variations are the same, and we'll go over them quickly. The head can be held up, drop forward, or drop back. The shoulders can be depressed or relaxed, and the legs can be together, wide apart, or anywhere between those two positions. We want to feel safe. We want to feel some gentle compression in our back, and we also want to be comfortable enough to hold it. So remember, in yin yoga, if the choice is between less and hold it longer, or more and have to come out of the pose partway through or shift or adjust, then generally speaking, you want to choose less for longer, okay? Okay, so coming down, you can rebound on your belly. That's called crocodile. Actually, we're not going to rebound just yet. Sorry. So coming down, when you're ready, press back into a kneeling position on the front half of your mat. Now you have many options here, and you want to be mindful because the feet and the knees are problematic for many people. So if your feet hurt, you can pad them with a blanket. You can roll a blanket, put it underneath your ankles. Your feet can point back or out to the sides. You can sit on them or between them, okay? If the knees hurt, you can sit on a block. Raising that up reduces flexion at the knee joint, reduces the pressure there. Also, taking your knees wider reduces the pressure on the knee. Okay, so you can experiment with those options. Now, you want to check and see if you feel a stretch in the front of your thighs. Those are your quads and hip flexors up here. And if they are tight, they will not allow you to tilt your pelvis backward enough for you to come onto your back. So you're just going to let those stretch. So you'll stay seated like this. Again, maybe you're sitting on a block. Now, if you do not feel a stretch, then you can begin to explore to coming to your hands, your elbows onto the crown of your head, or all the way flat onto your back. And this is called the saddle pose. There are two main areas of influence. One is the front of the hip and the thighs, and the other is the low back. So you might feel one or both of these areas in this posture. Please remember that we have three principles guiding us always. We want to feel safe. We want to feel a specific thing, which in this case is a stretch here or some compression in our back. And then we want to be comfortable enough to hold it. Okay, very important to get the most out of a yin practice is we need to basically hold still for whatever the designated time is. And today that is 5 minutes. Okay, let's rebound. Take your time coming out of the pose, otherwise you will likely feel unsafe, vulnerable, sensitive, and you will need to counter stretch immediately. So part of the key to rebounding is taking your time. And you really want to relax and be still as soon as possible. All right, let's pull those legs in, shake it off. And then we will finish with a spinal twist. So taking the right knee over the left and dropping knees to the left. You can support your knees if you feel that that would be helpful, but it's not wrong or dangerous inherently to have your knees in the air. Same with your right shoulder. It might be coming off the ground a bit. That's okay. Consider where your knees are positioned. The closer to your chest, the deeper the twist will tend to be. The further from your chest, the more mild it will be. Deeper isn't always better, but it can be. The biomechanics here are we want the shoulders to basically remain on the ground as the right hip is drawn over the left. Now the target is your spine, but if your spine is healthy, you probably won't feel it. You might feel the front of your chest or shoulder, you might feel your hip, your back. So keep in mind that there's some really nice stretches that are involved here in the hip, in the chest, the shoulder. These are potentials, not everyone will feel them. And it will also depend on how you position yourself. So with the arms, you can have them palms up or down, straight or bent, high or low, symmetrical or asymmetrical. The head can look to the left, to the right, or straight ahead. And often in combination with the arm, you can generate certain stretches into your neck or shoulder by combining arm and head positions. Okay. Take your time and let's switch sides. Okay, let's pull our legs in, shake it out. And at this stage, you have a couple of options. One is to lay back down in what in yin we call pentacle pose, which is like Shavasana, and just rest for however long you like. You can set a timer or not. Rest is almost always good unless we're already fully rested. The other option is you can go ahead and get on with your day. We did do the rebounds between the postures, which essentially function like little miniature Shavasanas or rests between the poses. So feel free to get on with your day if you're ready for that. All right, everyone, thank you for joining. I hope you got a lot out of today's practice. If there are any questions, reach out. Otherwise, until next time, namaste. Have a beautiful day.